comprehensive framework for publication-ready research articles. With the quote, "When you kneel down to God, He stands up for you. And when God stands up for you, no one can stand against you." Let us invite Ms. K. Shivashri from 2nd MCOM for prayer song. May I request the audience to kindly stand up for the prayer, please?
தோடுடைய செவியன் விடையேணியோ தூவென் மதிசூடி காடுடைய சுடலை பொடி பூசியன்னுள்ளம் கவர் கள்வன் ஏடுடைய மலரான் உனை நான் பணிந்தித்த அருள் செய்த பீடுடைய பிரமாபுரமேவிய பெம்மாணிவன் அன்றே.
Thank you for the divine energy. Now, I would like to call upon Dr. B. Purnima Ma'am, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, to render welcome address.
A very good afternoon to everyone present here. On behalf of the PG and Research Department of Commerce, Sri Shankara Arts and Science College, I extend a warm and cordial welcome to all gathered here for a two-day hybrid mode faculty development program on nuances of article and thesis writing. I extend a warm welcome to our respected principal, Dr. K.R. Venkateshan sir, for his constant encouragement and support. It is my privilege to welcome today's distinguished resource person, Dr. K.UMADEVI ma'am, Dean, School of Commerce and Assistant Professor, Guru Nanak College, Chennai. Madam, we are honored by your presence and look forward to your valuable insights on comprehensive framework for publication-ready research article. A special welcome also to our beloved faculty members, head of the department, research scholars, and PG students here in person, and to the participants from various colleges across the nation who are joining us live through YouTube. Your active engagement truly enriches the FDP. With these words, I once again welcome you all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I wish to request Mrs. P. Anuradha ma'am, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce, to give a brief introduction of our resource person.
Good afternoon to everyone here. It is my privilege and honor to introduce our esteemed resource person for today's faculty development program, Dr. K.UMADEVI ma'am, a distinguished academician, researcher and mentor. She currently serves as the Dean, School of Commerce at Guru Nanak College, Chennai, and has also been the Dean of Guru Nanak Center for Incubation, Innovation, Entrepreneurship and Startups from 2021 to 2023. With over 30 years of undergraduate teaching, 15 years of postgraduate teaching, and records of research guidance, she has shaped countless young minds and contributed immensely to the academic community. She has guided sources PhD research scholar under University of Madras, published extensively in Scopus and UGC approved international and national journals, and has been a peer reviews for reputed journals across the globe. Their expertise spans human resource management, organizational behavior, marketing, and brand management, research methodology, entrepreneurship, and business law, alongside advanced statistical analysis using SPSS, AMOS, Smart LPLS, and eViews. Her academic excellence has been recognized with numerous awards, including the Leadership in Academic Award 2024, Outstanding Woman Educator and Scholar Award 2021, and the Best Teacher Award 2020, to name a few. She has also won multiple Best Paper Awards in national and international conferences. Beyond teaching and research, she has been an inspiring resource person, keynote speaker, and chief guest at various national and international seminars, conferences, and workshops. She has played a pivotal role in promoting entrepreneurship, women empowerment, and student development initiatives through her leadership and services. Her recent works include contribution to writing edge topics like artificial intelligence in HRM, cyber security in the metaverse, and digital transformation in business, reflecting her forward-looking vision in academic and research. We are in, we are included privileged to have such as accomplished scholar, an inspiring leader, and a visionary academician with us today. Once again, I welcome you, ma'am. Welcome you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I request our head of the department, Mr. M. Venkatesan, sir, to honor the resource person. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. So now the most awaited session is here. Now I'll hand over the session to our resource person. Please, ma'am.
Hello.
Stand.
இல்ல அது ஒர்க் ஆகல அது மேல இருந்து
Yes, sir, yes.
We'll have here. Yes, ma'am. We are having remote also. Remote also. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, bringing it up.
That's not.
Very good afternoon. And a session in the afternoon is not very blissful. Usually, early morning, having an entire session is very nice, very colorful. We all half asleep, but then also we'll wake up and then listen. But then this is a task, madam, to have a session in the afternoon and especially with a research. Now, hopefully, I will try my best because I can see all the learned faculties who are already into the research. They are just drawn, completely into it. And to do something for them, I'm not at all focusing on them, right? So this FDP, which you call it up, is only for my students. As they are well known, they can have 1 or 2 hint, if I'm right, can be taken up. Otherwise, what is that which is going to focus up is going to be for the children. Let me first thank Sri Shankara Arts and Science College for having invited me. Thank you, head of the department, for having insisted through Dr. Purnima that I can be as one of the resource person for the day. So thank you so much for that. And of course, all the madams whom I have been known with, thank you, ma'am. And my scholars, of course, Aishwarya as my student there. So it's happy to meet you all. I try to take you in a journey saying how exactly an article can be written. Even before an article can be written, how exactly an article search has to be done. How do I been invoked or, provoked to write an article? Usually we don't go for it. Unless otherwise our teacher pushes us. Keep writing, எழுதுங்க என்ன ஒரு ஆர்டிகல் கூட ஒரு பேப்பர் ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்ல கூட போடலையே அப்படின்னு சொல்லும் போது ஓஹோ போடணும் போல இருக்கு. Then we come into that. So as of now, hopefully I'm so happy you're all with pen and paper. So delightfully I will start my session. So this is relating to a comprehensive framework where we say I'm going to give you with publication ready research articles. So how is that we are going to move on with? Why is that the reason behind to write an article? Why anyone should choose? Why should we write an article? So there are certain things as the purpose which says that publishing articles, first and foremost, will try to have a showcase of innovation and talent in research of the individual. Am I there as a person who would like to write or go about doing things in a different way? So innovation starts when you start finding problems. And for the problems, when you come across to say there is a solution for there, then I say that there is a innovation. So here we come for innovation and talent in research. Contribute, of course, gains from the society. And you also, you try to give something back to the society. Problem is being taken from the society. How did this Uber, Ola, all these things come in? Only when you found problems, when you started identifying problems, there came so many things as innovations. You have now Swiggy just traveling around your home. You have cloud kitchen coming up. Why the hell all these things are coming up? Now we say that they were problems. And for all the problems, you did a research and you gave to the society. So something when you give or return back to the society, research is something very important. Then comes to gain a prominence as a researcher. I have published papers. I have attended conferences. I'm returning back again. So there you get a prominent figure, or you say popularity, to be as called as a research person. So both national and international conference. Apart from all these, we say you can improve. Don't get disturbed. Paravala, low battery irna irundittu podhu. Na solren ungalku. Right? So apart from all these, we say I need to give. I work for Shankara. I've been there for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. What's that you have done? You have a very good example of Dr. Mayakanan. Now, what is the service as a research contributor? We all can see all the city are being just flown away from his whatever work he's trying to do. So you do have people who are getting themselves improvised into or a prominence of making yourself stand alone in the research. That gives an importance to the institution. Or a student, இப்ப நான் இருக்கிறேன், MCOM படிச்சுட்டேன், படிச்சு முடிச்சு போறேன், ரிசர்ச்ல நான் பண்றது வந்து யாருக்கு beneficial? It is first thing is you will be called as a person of that particular institution. So you are giving an importance, improvisation to your institution. Then comes, of course, lot of quantifying research wherein I can go for getting grants, renewal of grants. எல்லாமே ஈஸியா இது வந்துராதானா? Now that we have to apply, first உங்க proposal ரொம்ப அழகா இருக்கணும். ரொம்ப அழகானா டெக்கரேட்டிவா இல்ல, purposeful-ஆ இருக்கணும், aimful-ஆ இருக்கணும். The goal should be more serving to the society. If that is the case, then we say, yes, you're quantifiable for grant. I think teachers will help you out. Even teachers have to go for looking into searching for what are those grants available. Can your research take up this? ICSSR, so many things are available. We're not, going into that. Even that is a different slot where you can make a research. And of course, NIRF, NAC, so many things comes up. Rank வேணும். எல்லா rank வேணும். 3.666989. I'm the toppest in the entire city, entire thing. Now this is another thing which in turn will help the institution to earn ranking. Now coming down to the different types of your research publishing. நிறைய இருக்குது. இதுல எது வேணாலும் நீங்க ஆப்ட் பண்ணலாம், but still the first one is your self publishing, right? இப்போ PG doctorate பண்ணிட்டோம், my paper is ready, I'm ready for publication. It is authenticated and the external வந்து சொல்றாங்க, yes, this book can go for an publication, right? In seminars and conferences, of course, we are presenting, that's another mode of publishing. Collection of articles by institutions. It's like a data analysis where you can have a lot of, collection of lot of articles. Out of that, you can go for one or two publishing, or you can get the help from the various institutions. But Madras University porena, anga library இருக்குது. A lot of research books are available. Articles are available. Now what you can do, you can go through whichever of your topic, you can go for writing an article. You can have, of course, UGC, இப்போ வந்து almost in a dangling state, but still, அதுல இருக்கிற reviews, articles பார்க்கலாம், படிக்கலாம். இல்லன்னு இல்ல. Publish ஆகிறது வந்து secondary ஆயிடுது. But for, you can very well have articles from there. International Scopus, Web of Science, இதெல்லாம் அடுத்தடுத்த லெவல்ல நீங்க போகணும். Very initially, you can go for a little less popular kind of journals where you establish yourself of writing the article. That's ரொம்ப important. How do I write? So these are only telling you what kinds or types are available. How do I go about publishing? There are few stages which I have given you. Now these are things which you will be coming across. The very first thing, drafting. எடுத்ததுமே ஆர்டிகலா வராது. We need to go for a draft. Now the draft, what is that I have to highlight on? Things which we have to look into. Corrections of the content. Of course, research supervisors are there who will definitely, before you go into an paper to be published in a conference, definitely supervisors என்ன பண்ணுவாங்க, சில ஸ்டேஜஸ் உங்களை பார்ப்பாங்க. எடுத்ததுமே ஆமா கமான் வெரி குட் எல்லாம் கிடையாது. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் ஸ்டேஜ்ல இருந்தே கரெக்ஷன்ஸ் நடக்கும். So there we say content, grammar, even view with வர்றதுக்கு முன்னாடி ஒரு ஃப்ரண்ட். இந்த ஃப்ரண்ட்ல என்ன இருக்கும்? So pre-print, we get an extended review, a wider academic knowledge, exchange of informations, and you have a better exposure to research. All these things before a final acceptance in ellame paarkkum. Before you get a final acceptance, all these things are to be equal. Then we go into popular preprint. These are few things which you can look into where a printing can be done. Before final printing, a normal first review can be done. Then comes your final one. You look into your proper peer-reviewed publications, that is paper publishing, after corrections requested by peer reviewers. நீங்க என்னதான் ரிசர்ச் எழுதி போட்டீங்கனாலும் அங்க என்ன வரும்? ஃபர்ஸ்ட் மேபி உங்க ஸ்டாஃப்லாம் பார்த்துட்டாங்க, உங்க ரிசர்ச் கைட்லாம் பார்த்தாங்க, அது ஒரு ஸ்டெப் போயிடும். போன அப்புறம் அந்த ரிவ்யூவர்ஸ் they want some corrections. So your final draft goes there, but still you want some corrections, and that gets back to you for a final output to be before publication. So after the automatically goes into the publication point. Okay. Now this one, I don't know how far the institution, all of them have created this. Yes. If not, it is a suggestion to the institution that you can create, if you have a research cell, you can very well ask every individual staff to go for getting themselves, even including the children, they can have into Vidwan. Orchid is the most specialized one. Kindly make yourself registered and get that unique number. Orchid la poite register pannite, kindly have that unique number, and that unique ID will give you a complete exposure. People will start looking into, and you can very well use it for various research papers. Research ID, Publon, Scopus. If you open up, I don't have here. Actually, we can work out opening up and showing how we can make yourself into a registration. That's another huge process. You Elsevier, Google Scholar. These are very recent. Google Scholar, ResearchGate, Orchid, Vidwan, Research ID. Kindly get yourself registered. Of course, research supervisors will definitely have to have this registration for you to go for searching and people to know about you. These are the, like we say, LinkedIn for research. This is where you make yourself popular. If I have to say something called as a research paper, a traditional paper, எப்படி எழுதுவோம் அப்படின்னா ஐடியா வரும், ஐடியா சர்ச் பண்ணுவோம், பேப்பர் ரிவ்யூ பண்ணுவோம், research gap கிடைச்சிருச்சு, then I go for writing an article, and I search writing an article, then I search which journal, then I go for a peer review. இது நம்ம யூசுவலா பண்ற ஒரு method. I say kindly don't adopt that. Kindly don't adopt. This is how you should pick up your research article. The first and foremost which you will search is the search for journals to publish. First நீங்க search பண்ண வேண்டியது journals. எதுல பண்ணலாம்? இப்ப நான் science studentனா science journal, commerce na commerce, arts na arts, science na science, humanities, you got a lot of it. So first thing you will search for the journal. Then you will go into your idea. I'll tell you why. Okay? Idea. And the idea la enna papers irukkudu, find out reviews, find the research gap. And thereafter, now you know that this, if I have prepared, this journal is ready to publish my article. இதுக்கு முன்னாடி எப்படி இருந்தது? நீ கண்ணு கட்டி எதுலயே விட்டா மாதிரி நீ பாட்டுக்கு எழுதிட்டு வந்துட்ட, எங்க பண்ணணும் எதுல போடணும் தெரியல. Don't do that. You first search for which are the journals available where I can publish. Then go into whatever idea you had, how you can deliver and how you can identify. Write the article as per the requirement or prescribed one by the journal. Every journal will give you a prescribed mode of writing. You have to adopt to that. Okay. Then finally you have your peer review and it will be published. So how do I identify? Madam, journal parent eppadi na paakuradhu? How do I identify the journal? Now here you say through UGC care list. Ipo edadu konja na sonna madri vande it is still dangling, but still you can get into it. Look into the papers available. ஒரு நீ வந்து ஒரு பேப்பர் நான் பண்ணணும், இந்த தாட் என்கிட்ட இருக்கு, இந்த ஐடியா என்கிட்ட இருக்கு, இந்த ஜேர்னல்ல அது அவைலபிளா இருக்கா இல்லையா? யூ கேன் ஆக்சுவலி கோ ஃபார் இட். நாட் ஃபார் பப்ளிகேஷன், அட்லீஸ்ட் ஃபார் அ ரிசர்ச் பர்பஸ். I can go into Scopus. I've given you, this is where you can actually, the links are given where you can enter into. Web of Science, ABDC, இப்போ இது ரொம்ப பாப்புலர் ஆயிட்டு போகுது, Australian based one. Here again, a lot of publications are happening. People are going into these journals also, and they are going for publishing. So either this is becoming little popular, so definitely you should look for it for writing your articles. Now, how do I go? UGC, of course, illa irundhalum therinjikradhukku dhaan. UGC, this is how it look like. They say select if it is science or whatever, commerce, humanities. There is a select button. Automatically it will display title, ISSN, publisher, subject. Enna veno, you can go for selecting whichever you want. Then you give a select note and then automatically it will be displayed. Enna language, enna veno ungalku, just go into it, click, and whatever drafted thereby, whichever one you want to choose, you can very well choose. Okay. It will also have multidisciplinary. It's not only based on one side of it. You also have multidisciplinary journals or research work available. Web of Science, again, it's only a screenshot. Kindly go into it. So you will know how you have to find. So you do have your manuscript. ஏற்கனவே manuscript பண்ணிருக்கீங்கனாலும் அதையும் போடலாம். இல்லை உங்களுக்கு தெரியும்னாலும் அதையும் பேஸ்ட் பண்ணீங்கன்னா அது என்னன்னு சொல்லும் அது. So either way, you have a new one to search, you can search. If you already have a manuscript available, you can paste that and find what the reviews and articles are available. Either of it, you can do it. So if you have an example, how you can filter, how if at all it's going to be on management basis, how it can be taken up. Very important. இப்போ இருக்கிற கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்லாம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் பேப்பர் கொடுங்க, yeah, 1,000 rupees, 1,500 published, and they give you all reference number கொடுத்துறாங்க, எல்லாம் வந்துருது. But it is a cloned one. So finding out, identifying which is the cloned one, kindly have a complete thorough thing. Don't get yourself into a predator. அதுதான் சொல்றது. எங்கேயோ போயிட்டு எதுலையோ மாட்டிக்கிற மாதிரி இருக்கக்கூடாது. So don't become a predator there, because these journals are available for you to catch up. So very carefully, நம்மளே கான்ஃபரன்ஸ் நடத்துறோம்னா அந்த கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்ல cloned journal இருக்கா இல்ல நீங்க தயவு செய்து பாருங்க. And thereafter you say, நம்மளால publish பண்ண, I mean if the papers come, can we publish? அதுக்கப்புறம் நீங்க authenticate பண்ணுங்க. Otherwise kindly don't say நாங்க பேப்பர் publish பண்ணி தரோம். Even for the institution, when we conference have, எதுல வேணாலும் பண்ணிடுறோம் அப்படின்றது commit பண்ண கூடாது. Unless otherwise you can find the right one to publish. This is one. Predatory. Cloned journal and predatory. Very, very careful. You need to be very, very careful. When you say predatory, again, scholarly open, ellame பண்ணலாம். இது இந்த பெலாஸ் இது ஒரு எக்ஸாம்பிள் கொடுத்துருக்கேன். How it is not the original one. It is not the original one. It is a something which இப்ப எப்படி ஒரு சிங்கத்தை மான் போய் மாட்டிக்கிற மாதிரி. ஸோ அவன் நிறைய வச்சிருக்கான், ஆஹா ஆஹான்னு எல்லாம் காட்டுறான். And finally you're caught. Your money is lost. Your research is lost. Your articles which you have prepared is lost. Finally we say this is a cloned one. எப்ப வேணாலும் ஆஃப் பண்ணிட்டு போயிடுவோம். They'll close the entire thing. Then what happens to your research work? Even that is getting disaster. So do not do that. So kindly be prepared to face all these, or do a lot of research into it. இதுதான் இது உங்களோடது. Okay. Now இதெல்லாம் okay. Madam, journal, everything is fine. But then how do I measure the journal? There are few metrics. I'm not going very detail into, because a lot of calculations are available in that. I'm not going in detail of that. So when I say journal metrics, the level of metrics calculated mostly from journal citation. That is very important. Or journal popular in ennoda research every popular அப்படினு சொன்னா looking into the citation index. Then I say that yes, this journal is very popular. The research which I have published there is getting so much of citation and the H index is increased. Yes, it is popular. So you go with something called as citation index based database of Web of Science and Scopus. Now this is being used to measure what? The quality of journal and the relative rank of the journal. So we do two things here. One is you're trying to find, yes, the journal is going to be qualitative and I'm going to have a relatively higher rank of journal. I have published it. I'm very happy about it. Another thing, you can track the citations within journals to find citation pattern. If you go into it, a particular journal, you can find the citation pattern for them. That also is very useful. Find out which journal are highly cited. Adula poi neenga research publications pannalam. Your level of metrics include all these which I have said. Metrics in sonale idella na criteria. All these are being available. Now you have to look into where do we fall in journal oda impact factor enna, journal oda site score enna, all that which you look into and say that it is the highest of it, comparatively it is high, then I can go for publishing my paper. இப்ப நான் சொன்னது journal. Author level metric irukku. We also have author level metric. You would have published lot of papers. In paper நான் எந்த அளவுக்கு பாப்புலரா இருக்கேன். How popular is the individual author or maybe the co-authors? How popular? So here we have some metrics for author level. The first and foremost, measure the research productivity of the researcher. When you can go for a high level, only if you have fulfilled all this. Okay. So I say you measure your research productivity. It helps in what? Comparing and ranking your researchers in the related field. Same field. HR la pandringa. You're doing in statistics. You're doing in finance. You're doing in operation methods. You will try to compare yours with the others, the related field, how high it is. Then you may also indicate research aptitude to the author. Along with that, you can help in getting promotions, grants, better career prospects. Idella on the after level. Once I start setting up, usually when we go for interviews also, they say, oh, your project, PhD pannirkingla, research papers, articles, edula publish pannirkinga, your H index evlo irukku, citation evlo irukku, all that can also add always good promotion to your career. So that's very important. Having been inducted for the first moment, also it is helpful. Even if you have already into the level of, as professors, this can help you out. Then author level metric on the it includes your H index, I-10 index and G index. I'm not going in detail for these. This is how your entire impact factor will look like, or we say the summary of your metrics. Major paakradhu impact factor of journal. Impact factor of journal. How do I get into impact factor? Enga neenga solveenga high ah irukku low ah irukku depends. Usually for commerce we don't have high. Science ku nalla nariya koidudhu. They have a very high level of impact factor. For commerce it is not that high, but still you can get into, your impact factor will increase or high based on these: journal citation report, SkyMago, your journal rankings, Egan factors, and Scopus. If these are going to be high, automatically you have your impact factor journal high. And also you can have your Web of Science, Google Scholar, or Scopus. Now this summary metrics is very important to identify which journal will be the best one for me to publish. How do I say it's an impact factor? Irukkuda illaya? Based on these metrics used, you can find out. Now, which journal to choose? Okay, which journal to choose? Based on metrics na choose pandren abdina, these are the ones which we can take it into consideration. Number 1, my journal should have a high impact factor. First criteria, no option for that. First criteria, it should be of high impact factor. Number 2, citations. In the journal, when you look into, the research works, articles, how much it's been looked into, how much it's been cited into, how many people read your articles. Okay, so article citation, idu oru pakka irukattum. Author citation, A, B, C, D ella perliyum irukom. Nammalukku enna irukku, how much of people are really reading yours and citing your article for their reference? How many are citing your article for their reference? Okay. Of course, this is SkyMago journal and frequency of journal. Frequency of journal, how many people are trying to apply or trying to publish their articles in these journals? Frequenta pannamodu and the journal parunga. The journal which receives more number of articles frequently. Okay. Now again, which journal to choose based on? That was the first one. The second one goes with other criteria. The second point which I would like to highlight. Of course, the first one, popularity in your own country and other countries. எந்த அளவுக்கு அந்த ஜர்னல் வந்து பாப்புலரா இருக்கு, I'll be ready to publish in it. The second thing, cost factor. How many of you have tried publishing, writing articles and publishing it? PG have tried it? MCom? You have tried any time? You have written? Yeah, no, there's that. Okay. No? No. Okay. Now you try it. Kindly try it. That will actually increase your level of research. You have projects. Your project should turn out to be an article. Your project should turn yourself. You turn that into an article. Do a very, very thorough research. Have your questionnaires been made properly. Your primary data. See that you take a right kind of problem and then do a research and give a solution or a result. Now that will be published. And that when you're publishing, check all these and then publish. So I say my popularity, number 2, cost. Don't go for heavy cost. Plus Scopus sona 15,000, 30,000, 50,000. Kindly don't do. They say even Scopus, when we say it is free of cost. But it will take time. It will take time. It can be year for it to be published. But it will get published and it will have its own scope. But then what we do? Namma emergency போட்டாகனோ உடனே போடுறா, யார் கேட்குறான் போட்டுடு. அது க்ளோன்டா இருக்கா இல்லையான்னு கூட பார்க்கறது இல்லை. Very difficult. Kindly don't do those mistakes. So we say here, cost of publishing, kindly have a more note on that. Of course, peer review process. சிலதெல்லாம் வந்து போயிட்டு வரும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டைம் போகும் கரெக்ஷன், செகண்ட் டைம். இப்பெல்லாம் ஏன் நிறைய peer review process வருது தெரியுமா? ஏன் நிறைய ஆகுது? சும்மா போயிட்டு வருது. We have one beautiful concept come up, AI, chat GPT. போடுற டைட்டில் கேடுறா ஏதாவது வருதா, எடுத்து அப்படியே காப்பி பேஸ்ட். அட்லீஸ்ட் அந்த இடத்துல நம்ம ஒரு கொஞ்சம் இன்னோவேஷன்ஸ் பார்க்கணும். நம்மளே ஏதாவது கொஞ்சம் எழுதிக்கோமா, நம்ம ஏதாவது ஒரு புதுமையான ஒரு டேட்டா கொடுப்போமா. ட்ரை டு டூ தட். சாட் ஜிபிடி of course it will help you. It's guiding you, it's supporting you. You can't depend on that, right? So there you have lot of reviews. இப்பெல்லாம் வந்து கான்ஃபரன்ஸ்னு நடத்துறோம், பேப்பர் வருது, திருப்பி அனுப்புறோம். இல்ல இந்த பேஜ், இந்த டைட்டில், இந்த இந்த கண்டென்ட் மாத்தி அனுப்புங்க. Why? Because we are trying to copy something not of our own. So where when you have peer review process ரொம்ப ஹெவியா இருந்தாலும் kindly don't go for that, right? Of course, duration of your peer. The one, we have too much of process. Another one is you will have too many people, or we say it takes months, year for them to review and say that finally rejected. Accept another paravala. They do all these and they say finally rejected. So look into even the duration part of it. You can give importance to that. And acceptance rate. Acceptance rate is how many papers, when people publish in that journal, how many papers when people apply or make it up in that journal, the acceptance rate, is it high? If I say 10 papers are being given for review, is the 10 accepted? Good. Go for such. Go for such, not that 10 pote only 2 are accepted. Don't take up those kind of journals. So you should look into your acceptance rate. Higher irundaduna kindly go for writing in that journal. This is something called as journal suggester. No, you can go for, actually if you have a laptop in yours, you can just get into this journal suggester. This will give you a lot of inputs. Journal suggester will give you a lot of inputs. So most popular journal websites have their own journal suggesters, and based on the abstract of your article, they will try to have a choice. First and foremost, usually நம்ம சொல்லுவோம், first impression is the best impression. Article பொறுத்த வரைக்கும் first impression வந்து உங்களோட abstract. The first impression is your abstract. What is this abstract? I'll give you something in detail. How to write an abstract, what are all things should come in the abstract will also be defined. And we will see this. Okay. I've given you something like this. This is how it will look like. Journal suggester. If you really go into it, or example on the LC varodadu. So if you go into, you have typed something. Can you see here? I have typed a abstract. I have pasted the abstract. COVID, இதெல்லாம் ப்ராப்ளமா இருந்துன்னு சொல்லிட்டு ஒரு சின்ன ஆர்டிக்கலுக்காக ஒரு அப்ஸ்ட்ராக்டை எழுதிட்டு என்ன பண்ணியிருக்கேன், I have pasted. Now when I give a click, it will tell how far that particular abstract is impressive. Can that be taken into consideration or not? Is it being repeated? Is it being copied or not? Everything will be given there. So I say I have 2 steps. I have to give the complete abstract and click on that. If it is reversed, again, reveal that this is the journal, automatically it can be further moved on. Springer, this is another very popular journal. Now here the suggester, if I have to say. So the journal suggester, what you want to enter the manuscript, you paste your abstract, it will immediately give you the result. You have to think, look into, search first, and then opt for the best one. Don't just jump into conclusions. My friend said this, my friend said this. அவன்லாம் வந்து ரிசர்ச் ஆர்டிக்கலே போட்டுட்டான், அப்படிலாம் பண்ண வேண்டாம். இல்லை சர்ச் பண்ணுங்க, எப்படியெல்லாம் பண்ணணும்னு நினைக்கிறீங்க, உங்களுக்கு பெஸ்ட்டாக பண்ணணும்னு வச்சுக்கோங்க. ஓகே, ஸோ என்டர் த டைட்டில் அண்ட் யூ வாண்ட் டு. இது இன்னொன்று என்ன சர்ச் இது பண்ணலாம் சஜஸ்டர், நான் ரெவ்யூ பண்ணணும். I want to write an article and I want to review certain things. அப்பவும் போடலாம். You can go for, pasting it, title paste பண்ணிட்டேன், எனக்கு இந்த மாதிரி வேணும். You can have few reviews. Of course, nowadays, as we say, chat GPT போட்டு எனக்கு reviews காட்டினா கட நிறைய reviews வந்துடுது. But in spite of that, this is the authenticated one where you can go for searching. Writing the manuscript. This is especially for science. They use something called as IMRAD. What is that IMRAD? Introduction. அவங்களுக்கு உள்ள போய் இந்த review, give you அதெல்லாம் நிறைய இல்லை. Methods, result, discussion. So if I have to say, for a science student to look into for publication, writing of article, this is what they will use. அப்போ காமர்ஸ் ஹியூமானிட்டிஸ்க்கு என்ன மேடம்? This is what we will do. So what is that? They make it up. Later I'll go for ours also. Introduction. ஒரு introduction சொன்னா என்னெல்லாம் வரணும்? When I say introduction, what are all things which should be taken into consideration? So here we have defined your research problem or gap, your objectives, and the background, which we call as the rational background, has to be specified. Methods, which method are you going to use? You have to specify. So here your study, your design, your procedures, which you're going to have. Then your techniques. What tools are you going to use? And then, of course, the ethical approvals. Your results, these are the key findings, outcomes, table, charts, figures, how are you going to present. And discussion, especially as I said for science, they have this called as discussion, where interpretation of the result or comparison with the literature or limitations of implications or even the future research directions. Now all these even we can do, because when we do a PhD thesis, idallam varum. We do go for further research of what will be there in my top title topic, how it can help the others to do it in future. Of course, your conclusion summarizing the key takeaways from the research. Okay. Apart from this, I am a non-science paper fellow. Okay. இப்போ நான் சொல்றது சயின்ஸ்க்கு சொன்னேன். இப்போ நான் ஒரு காமர்ஸ் ஸ்டூடெண்ட். இப்போ காமர்ஸ்க்கு நான் என்ன பண்ணணும்? What is that I have to write? Little more elaborate. Little more elaborate. And the elaboration எப்படி இருக்கும்? Okay. Hope I'm making some sense. Yes? Thank you. நான் சொன்ன மாதிரி கொஞ்சம் கண்ணு மூடி அப்படி வரும், இருந்தாலும் கொஞ்சம் பேர் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. ஓகே, ரைட். ஸோ வி கோ சயின்ஸ் இல்லாத நான் என்ன பண்ண போறேன்? இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன். இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் என்ன கொடுக்கணும்? மை டாபிக். Very important one, especially when the COVID was there. During that period, lot of papers, lot of thoughts, lot of problems. அந்த ப்ராப்ளம்ல ரிசர்ச் வந்து ரொம்ப பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா எடுத்துட்டு வந்தோம். நிறைய பண்ணினோம். மாஸ்க் போடுமா போட வேண்டாமா, மாங்காய் பழுத்திருக்கா, லாட் ஆஃப் திங்ஸ். ஈவன் ஐ ஹேட் a lot of research. அப்போ வந்து ஆப்லாம் பண்ணிட்டேன் சார். I came out with lot of apps identifying mango ripened இல்லையா, மாஸ்க்கு கழுத்து திருப்பணுமா வேண்டாமா, எப்படி அது நிறைய தாட்ஸ் when you know during COVID. ஸோ ஒரு ரிமோட் டைப்ல என்ன மாதிரி என்ன பண்ணலாம் அப்படின்னும் போது நிறைய ஐடியாஸ் வந்துருது. அந்த ஐடியாஸை we are just making into a research and you're going for an article. So here you're finding out your gap, especially again I'm coming with the COVID. Hospitals போக முடியல. What am I supposed to do? Right? Hospital விடுங்க. Hello, teacher. பாடம் நடத்த முடியல, பாடம் நடத்திட்டேன், எக்ஸாம் பண்ண முடியலையே, என்ன பண்ணணும்? Think. Then you had this proper use of Google Classroom. இன்னொருத்தன் கொண்டாந்தான் காஹோத், நிறைய கொஸ்டின்ஸ் கேளுங்க, குவிஸ் கண்டக்ட் பண்ணுங்க. வாட் வாஸ் தட்? இட் வாஸ் அ ரியல் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோரேஷன். அப்பெல்லாம் வந்து கூகுள்குள்ள போயெல்லாம் அவ்வளவா ஐ ஹவ் நாட் டன். நவ் யூ சே, இப்ப பிசிக்கலா இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல, கூகுள் கிளாஸ் ரூம், பவர் பாயிண்ட் பிரசன்டேஷன் நிறைய இருக்குதே. எவ்ரிதிங் we are doing it. We want assignments பண்ணியா, put it, come on, do the presentation. Very happily நம்ம கொஞ்ச நேரம் உட்கார்ந்துட்டு அவன் பண்ணுவான். But then we are making a learning to the children. We learned and now they are doing correction, paper corrections. How difficult it was. Loading of, university result வந்துறணும், அதெல்லாம் பண்ணிட்டோம். So happy. அதுல எல்லாம் என்ன பண்றான்? ரிசர்ச் பண்ணான், ரைட்டிங் ஆர்டிகல்ஸ். கூகுள் கிளாஸ் ரூம் எந்த அளவுக்கு பெனிஃபிஷியல், போடுற ரிசர்ச். they came out with that. மெடிசின்ஸ், மெடிக்கல் எப்படி பண்றது? then we say ரிசர்ச், உடனே கண்டுபிடிக்கிறான். வீடியோ கால்ல வாங்க, இந்த மெடிசின்ஸ் இப்படி எடுத்துக்கலாம். அப்போ மெடிசின்ஸ் எங்கிருந்து வரும்? வா, அமேசான், நெக்ஸ்ட் அக்ரிகேட்டர் வரான் உள்ள. ஸோ லாட் அண்ட் லாட் ஆஃப் ரிசர்ச். அந்த டைம்ல வந்து நிறைய ஐடியாஸ் எக்ஸ்ப்ளோர் ஆச்சு. அண்ட் வி கேம் அவுட் வித் லாட் ஆஃப் ஆர்டிகல்ஸ். ஸோ தட் வே ஃபைண்ட் தி ரிசர்ச் கேப், விச் இஸ் வெரி இம்பார்ட்டன்ட். அண்ட் தட் ரிசர்ச் கேப் ஷுட் பி யூனிக். எல்லாரும் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. வாட் இஸ் தட் நியூ திங் ஐ எம் கோயிங் டு டூ இஸ் கோயிங் டு ரியலி ஹெல்ப் யூ. ஸோ ஹியர் ஐ எம் ஃபைண்டிங் அ ரிசர்ச் கேப். அண்ட் அந்த ரிசர்ச் கேப்புக்கு ஐ எம் ஃபிக்ஸிங் அப் objectives. Even 2 objectives is enough. Don't have running objectives. 10 12 வச்சிட்டு இருப்போம். No, 2 objectives, major objectives, and you can add on 2 more. That's all, enough. Now that you quantified properly, that how I'm going to work. Then comes my methods. Now in this method, definitely we'll have population, sample, and the sample in depth of how much have to be taken up. So you will go in detail into your qualitative case study mari pandradhalam paravailla. Quantitative pannanumna definitely I need to have a tool. So those tools, structured questionnaire, unstructured questionnaires, observations, interviews, scheduled one, so all that will be taken into consideration for you to prepare your methodology. Which one shall we opt for? So here we come into data analysis, collection. All this will be taken into consideration. Findings. Here the key findings. Flexibility. Now whatever I make a research, the findings should be apt or flexible enough to work. Implementable. In simple language, it should be implementable. I found something, but that finding should be flexible. I should be able to put that into action. Now that is very important. So we say you try to have your findings which is more flexible. It improves your work-life balance. It can go for communication. Now challenges, lot of challenges. Nowadays, city, idu romba nalla irundhathu. When I was coming with my research scholars, madam, I can feel that the village, full field, green, avlo alaga irukku அப்படினாங்க. சிட்டிக்குள்ள போன அப்புறம் ஃபுல்லா we have to only close, mask போட்டுட்டு தான் போகணும், full of pollution. But then when here challenge ன்னு சொல்லும்போது, இப்பெல்லாம் எல்லாம் வேலைக்கு போறோம், everyone going for a work முடிச்சு வீட்டுக்கு வந்த அப்புறம் I don't want to work. So what is to be done? ரிசர்ச் பண்றான். என்ன பண்றது? இந்த கிளீனிங்க்கு அர்பன் கிளப் கூட்டிட்டு வா, கொஸ்டினர் போட்டான், எஸ் பீப்புள் ஆர் தேர், வா கம் டூ. கிச்சன், ஐ வில் நாட் கோ டு கிச்சன், கிளவுட் கிச்சன் போங்க, ஆர்டர் பண்ணுங்க, வந்துருது. வாட் இஸ் ஹேப்பனிங்? ஓன்லி ஆஃப்டர் த ரிசர்ச், வேணும் தேவைன்னு சொல்லும் போது அவன் என்ன பண்றான்? ரிசர்ச் பண்றான். என்ன தேவை அவனுக்கு வேணும்? பாயிண்ட் எடுத்துறான், ப்ராப்ளம். அந்த ப்ராப்ளம் எப்படி சால்வ் பண்ணலாம் becomes your result finding. So it's not easy. So only thing, the problem ஒன்னு வந்துட்டாலே automatically உங்க research article ready. So that's how you have to work out, right? Of course, the challenges, technology, all these things in your இதெல்லாம் தான் எழுதியிருக்கணும் நீங்க ஃபைண்டிங்ஸ்ல இதெல்லாமே கவர் பண்ணணும். ஓகே, தென் டிஸ்கஷன் சொல்லும் போது your literature, your review on that, அது எப்படி பார்த்தீங்க, அதை இங்க கொண்டு வந்து நீங்க எப்படி பண்ணிருக்கீங்க, how is that you have found your result. Then now I have found this, can that be further been discussed? Yes, it can be discussed. நான் வெறும் இந்த ஸ்ரீபெரும்புத்தூர்ல மட்டும் பண்ணினேன். Can that be taken into a city lot? Can be taken into a suburban place? Now that can be a one for discussion. So whatever you have done, you can interpret, you can find in either of the ways and say, yes, recommended for further discussion or a further research. And finally, we conclusion. Now, conclusion, you will summarize the major areas. That is a main insight. And then you will go for theoretical contributions, practical implications, and my future part of it. Now, always remember, in the articles, thesis, the conclusion, it is not general conclusion. Many of them write a general conclusion. Human resource management, what is the impact of human resource management in the well-being of the employees? உடனே அது எப்படி நம்ம தியரி என்ன படிச்சிருப்போம் பாடத்துல அதை எடுத்து எழுதிட வேண்டியது. Now that is not conclusion. You have done a research, you had findings. Now from that, what is that you have derived should be your conclusion, right? You have found something. Women workers, no, in a particular office, you found that the women workers are more smarter than what the men were doing. அப்படின்னு ஏதாவது ரிசல்ட் வருது அப்படின்னா அந்த ரிசல்ட்டை எழுதுங்க. That should be the conclusion, not the general item of whatever you're going to write. Not on the topic or the theory which you have learned, but on the research which you have done. Okay. ஆர்டிக்கல் சொல்லிட்டீங்க மேடம், எழுதணும்னு சொல்லிட்டீங்க, எப்படி எழுதுறது? How do I write an article? As I said, the very first few slides, first look for a journal. Every journal have their own template. அதுக்கேத்த மாதிரி தான் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நீ டிசைன் பண்ணணும். நீ எழுதி முடிச்சுட்டு இதை எங்க போய் போடணும்னு சொல்லிட்டு வரக்கூடாது. You have to first find. First, let's look into the article template. How the article template will look like. Okay. So it may go with the title, first, middle name, last name. In the name, one more slide, I'll show you how exactly you should write your name in the article. Then your correspondent email, abstract. அவன் என்ன word limit சொல்லியிருக்கானோ தயவு செய்து have that word limit. Don't have your own word limits. Kindly stick on to whatever is being specified. Okay. Author name. And the journal enna solludo, follow the rules of the journal. If it says first name, then surname, then they say surname, then the first name, kindly follow that. So here, if it says first name, last name entry. So the example கொடுத்திருக்கேன், South Indian name, என்னோட பேரை கொடுத்திருக்கேன். It says first name, then you have your expanded surname. Be very careful. First thing, when you give, give the name as surname, expand initials if possible அப்படின்னு சொன்னா first name என்ன கொடுத்தணும் நீங்க? Your name. Write your name. Your initial can be next. You know why? எங்கே பப்ளிஷ் ஆகும்போது இந்த நெக்ஸ்ட் போயிடும். ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சர்நேம்னு சொன்னீங்க பாத்தீங்களா, அது மட்டும்தான் த்ரோ ஆகும். Any search, if I search with K, if I give K as my first name, if I search, article காட்டாது. So you have to write the name. Surname சொன்னா first அதை எழுதுங்க. So when I search Umadevi, then that Umadevi will appear. So you have to be very careful even while writing the names, right? So if சில பேருக்கு எப்படி இருக்கும்னா, okay, if culturally someone doesn't have a family name, அப்ப என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, the surname you can designate ரெண்டுமே ஒரே பேர், உமாதேவி உமாதேவி. It is up to you. It is DOIs which will try to take up a generation. You can write the name as it is. This is another beautiful thing. Mononyms. ஒரே பேர் தான் இருக்கும். இப்போ நார்த் இந்தியாலாம் எடுத்தோம்னு சொன்னா ஒரே பேர். They will not have நம்மள மாதிரி பின்னாடி இனிஷியல் போட்டெல்லாம் சில நேரத்தில் இருக்காது. அப்போ என்ன பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னா, ரெண்டு இடத்துலையுமே ஒரே பேரை எழுது. சர்நேமா இருந்தாலும் சரி, லாஸ்ட் நேமா இருந்தாலும் சரி. கபீர் இஸ் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் நேம், சர்நேம் இஸ் ஆல்சோ கபீர். அவ்வளவுதான், அது வேற இல்லை எனக்கு, அவ்வளவுதான் இருக்குது. ஸோ புட் both the places the same, repeat it, no harm. Okay, then இன்னொன்னு என்னன்னா, ஒரு வாட்டி உமாதேவின்னு எழுதியிருக்கேன் அப்படின்னா கன்சிஸ்டன்டா keep writing only that way. Don't change it. Devi, Devi Uma, Uma, don't do that. If you do it, search பண்ற நீ ஆர்டிகலே எழுதல. So you try to have consistently your name. Okay, of course. Orchid definitely register பண்ண சொன்னேன். First day சொல்லிட்டேன், unique ID should be there. You can follow those rules, those database, because everything will differ. Each of them will differ from one to the other. Full official name, affiliations இருக்குதுன்னா full official name of the institution and country, and you should be, I am the corresponding author அப்படின்னா, use your official mail ID and not with Gmail and Yahoo. Try to have your official mail ID. For example, if I have to say umadevi.k@gurunanakcollege.edu.in, org irpanga, in irpanga, whatever official things you have, kindly use that. No, if you have institutions, they create it. It's better. Institutions create it. It's better, then you get affiliated to that. Okay? How to write an abstract? Very important. நீ நான் சொன்னேன், ஃபர்ஸ்ட் இம்ப்ரெஷன், அப்ப அப்டிராக்டோட முடிஞ்சு போயிடும். எவ்வளவு பெரிய ஜர்னல் போனாலும் அப்டிராக்ட் நல்லா இருக்கா, you are there in. Otherwise you are rejected. அங்கே ரிஜெக்ஷன் ஆயிடும். So first and foremost with your abstract. So use either structured or unstructured, that's okay. Usually நம்ம நிறைய unstructuredல தான் போவோம், as required by the journal. State the purpose, highlight the major concepts and conclusions. பலவல கொலகொலாயே கிடையாது. கரெக்டா என்ன கண்டென்ட் சொல்ல வரீங்க சொல்லுங்க. And stick on to the word limit which they have specified. ஒரு ஜர்னல்லையும் ஒரு word limit இருக்கு, அதை ஸ்பெசிஃபை பண்ணணும். Few keywords when you're writing your abstract. இதெல்லாம் பார்த்து எல்லாம் கேட்ட அப்புறம் டெஃபினட்டா எம்காம் வந்து ஒரு சின்ன அப்டிராக்டாவது எழுதி உங்க டீச்சர்ஸ்ட காட்டுங்க. That will give satisfaction to me that I have made some purposeful presentation here. So try to write an abstract, take a problem, and then derive on it and write a abstract. Okay, so first, what is the first thing? Purpose of keywords. ஏன் keywords ன்னு சொல்லிட்டே இருக்காங்க? எல்லாம் முடிச்ச அப்புறம் கீழ keywords வரணும்னு சொல்லுவான். கரெக்ட்டா? Keywords. But what is that keyword? Now that help database and search engines categorize and retrieve your article. Right? It helps. And the keywords தான் எப்பயாவது யாருக்காவது வேணும். If I have to take out some relevant articles on that keywords can be used to retrieve the articles. You can use that. Then it can be not more than 3 to 6. 6 vena. 3, 4, 5 is more than enough for your keyword which can take it up. And of course, see that don't use, a study, a research. அதெல்லாம் அப்டிராக்ட்ல அது கீவேர்டே கிடையாது. It's all generalized statements. நீங்க என்ன கொடுத்திருக்கீங்க, what is that you have given should be your From the title, you can categorize. I've given you an example. Of course, you can use the medical gel codes. If you find some free hours, kindly have your library. If they have the laptop usage, kindly go and find out what is the gel codes for economics. Portingana or have categorized panno. It will give you codes. I mean, microeconomics na enna code la varum illa macro na enna varum adle detail econometry na enna irukum. They'll have lot of codes. Adha neenga specify pannalam. Abstract la gel codes specify pannalam. Okay? Of course, don't use the word study and research. I've given you an example. I'll go for what it is. Okay, keywords. Immediately after your word abstract, don't give any separate sheet and all to write. I've used an example here. I've come on with example. My title is Impact of Digital Payment on Consumer Spending in India. Okay. Now the keywords I've picked up from the title: digital payment, UPI, consumer spending. Ada thavara enna mukkiyama and content la ezhirupen appadina behavioral finance, mobile banking. Now what is that my behavioral finance? The discipline or the field on which I'm going to do my research. And mobile banking will be the platform, that is technology platform which I'm going to use. So this should be the way how you write your key words. Okay? Abbreviations. It's very easy. Full terms either mudiyalana vegama abbreviations use panni vittuduvom. But then kindly use the abbreviations in writing your articles or abstract and see that you are completely giving a full form of the abbreviations. I've given an example. Customer engagement was highest in the Instagram campaign group SM2 compared with control group CON and other campaign groups SM1 and SM3. If SM1 and 3 and CON and how do I know that? So everything in order, you will have an expansion. So CON, what is it? SM1, SM2 and SM3. You have to give a proper abbreviations of full form. Is that okay? This is another interesting one. Article template registration. First thing you need to go for a registration. This is very important. நம்மளுக்கு முன்னாடி எவனாவது பண்ணிட கூடாது இல்ல நம்மளத காப்பி அடிச்சு எவனாவது கொண்டு போய் பண்ணிட கூடாது. So always they retrieve from where from the registration part. So here it's only like telling you how a registration can happen. Clinical trial registry number and website where it was obtained. எங்க இத எடுத்தீங்க is already there. You can very well retrieve. Another thing is registry and registry number of systematic reviews or meta-analysis done. I'll give a highlight on meta-analysis. Ennan solren. And appropriate registry for systematic reviews. Where you can look this into Prospero. Kindly go. Take your laptop or your system. Prospero is the word. What is this and how we can register? What is the registry? Please look into it. You can have a Google. I'll give you some more note on that. This is how. A clinical trial registry number. Idu ungalku kuduthirken link. You can have that link. You can copy it and you can just go try into it. Okay. So for clinical trials, enna pannalam appadina, journal often required this number for publication. So whenever we have to go for a publication, this registration number is essential. Okay. Then it helps avoid publication bias, that is hiding negative ideas. Very important. Negative results. This will try to be very, very open No, very transparent for you to look into. So it will help avoid publication bias, which means hiding all your negative results. It will be open enough. It will also allow reviewers, readers to verify your trial protocols. How did you pick this? How did that article you looked into? All small, minute details will be recorded. And I've given you where you can look into these clinical trial registry entry. This is for registry for systematic reviews and meta-analysis. The meta-analysis, I'll try to put that. You have lot of research which is done. Okay, இப்போ நான் ஒரு ஆர்டிக்கல் எழுதணும். எப்படி எழுதுறது? I will collect reviews, meta-analysis. I'll try to collect lot of those articles of the same similarity. I'll group them. From that, I will try to write one article. நிறைய இருக்குது, எல்லாத்தையும் எடுத்து வச்சுட்டு படிச்சுட்டு அதுல இருந்து என்ன பண்றேன், ஒரு ஆர்டிக்கல் நான் எழுதுறேன். நான் காப்பி பண்ணியிருக்கேனா இல்லையா? Is it been the same thing? Can be identified, can be looked into. Adan Prospero sonne, which will tell that whether it is been the same or have you put your effort having read the articles. Okay, so this is the most widely used one which will help you. Ipo in the we are taking up this is to prevent your duplication of work. Right? It can also have some transparency in your work which you have done. It will also enhance some kind of credibility of the work which you have done. Very important. It will increase the credibility. And of course, the most important one which is accepted or which is being used is Prospero. How do I format? Formatting and journal guidelines. Simple ones. Citation, reference. Idhula edha use panikalam? APA, IEEE, Chicago styles. Idu neenga poi ulla entry portale, when you go into IEEE or APA, it will immediately tell you what is the template format. Eppadi eludhanum appdinu varum. Example. These are the ones which are available. APA, common in psychology, education, social science, business. In-text citation, it will tell you how to write author, date, style, which is, for example, Smith 2022. In the Mari eduthanum. Thirupi reference list le alphabetic with author surname. Example, Johnson and Lee. What is the year? Similarly, I have to refer pannumna, this is how I should refer. Johnson, M. Lee, A. 21, Digital Learning Trends, adavanoda topic, and Journal of Education is the journal name, and 15, that is volume, whichever it is, and they'll give you the page number. This is how it will be listed. For IEEE, example, how it will be looking like. So for IEEE, of course, the full form is given to you. Common in engineering and computer science, IT, etc. In text citation, that is numbered style. Reference list ordered numerically by citation appearance. Example I've given you as shown in, that is Gupta 3, that is your reference number A. Gupta and P. Kumar, Smart Grids in India. எதுல இருக்கு? IEEE Transpower System, volume, number, page number, and the year. This is how that particular journal will look like, or the template will look like. Similarly with your Chicago style. Just the example, footnote 1, it's almost the same. Only thing we have added, like footnotes, bibliography, all that is also been added and put it in the brackets. Some of the tools for your reference. What tools can you refer? Microsoft Word. I'm giving you another food for thought. Go, simple thing. Open up soft word. Word. Take out that. You can see reference tab varum. You will have a reference tab. Click. You will have manage sources. Click style selection. Ange koduthodom APA venuma, Chicago venuma, la IEEE. Kindly go into sadharana word, open up, and you can find with a reference. Mela irukku ungalku tabla. Reference check. Kindly note it down. You will have it. Okay. Ade mari. Actually, we have a break. Huh? Okay. Oh, point. Okay. Yeah, we have a break.
We will have 10 minutes break. Tea is ready.
So welcome back and good evening. If you are okay with, we'll start. Right. Thank you. Hope the session is making some sense and giving you some kind of input as to how an article can be written and published. Yes? Thank you. So I want you, we just stopped here. I said kindly go into and work on the word and search on this and find out. Another one you will do is with the Google Docs, where you will have add-ons which you can use or utilize for writing your articles. Now how exactly your reference management software is. What is that we have to use? How it has to be taken into consideration. Now, some of the tools which I have mentioned, the key features of the tools and the supported style which you can take it up for writing. The tools are like EndNotes, Mendeley, Zotero, Reference Works, and the features have been given to you. But where exactly we use it, the supported styles are, I've mentioned which are the styles where you can use these tools. Now, these will be taken for only when we go, in deeper writing an article. Some of the tools like cite this for me, BibMe, citation builder. You can very well look into all these. I've given you the link. You can go into it, use this. I can even share the PowerPoint. You can utilize it because it's not easy when it's been going on. You may not have been taken up. So I will share it. You can use this. And of course, what are the styles which these are been asking you to write your articles should be taken care of. Data availability. Now, data availability declaration, which is essentially needed. Now, what is that we are going to do? Now, in this, you have to note certain things, or in your data availability, you have to state any one of these following. Number one, data described in the manuscript or in the code book or in the analytic code will be made publicly and freely available without restriction. There are few things called as open access, subscribed access. I write an article and I say my article, the journal asks you, should it be an open access or subscribed article? Now, when I say open access, the one who is writing, that is the author, has to pay. The one who is the author has to pay. Whatever the amount is being asked, I'll be paying it. Once I pay, everyone there, the globe, can access your article, can read your article, can refer your article. If I fall into the subscribed one, subscription, then I don't pay. Okay, so it will be paid by those who want to access your material or article. The references will be taken up that way. So here, the data availability, number one, if it is publicly, freely available, has to be noted. Number two, the data described in the manuscript, code book, all these available upon request pending, which means only you cannot access, only if you can pay or been asked, then you can release it for them to access. Then data described in the manuscript Of course, all these code book, analytic code will not be made available because of certain reasons which are being specified. So the reasons can be like for additional information, data sharing statements, apply original research articles, perspectives, opinions, all these things. All these things do not require in this statement, Anil, they will not allow you. They will not preferably allow you to access or the data available itself. Okay. Of course. Now all these you can also go for funding. For funding, there are few enquiries available. Again, according to the data, they will ask you sponsored. See, all these are once your article or your proposal is ready and I would like to apply for, then comes your data availability check and the funding sources. Now it's ready. Now there is a check for me. Availability declaration. Now what is that I have to declare? Data availability declaration is in a short statement you're going to give, include in your manuscript that it tells readers, editors, reviewers from where the underlying data of your study can be accessed. So you are giving a declaration stating that where or whether you can, that is others can access my data, my article, my work is being displayed. Number two, many journals make this mandatory for transparency. You want to reproduce it, they are making it available, and compliance with funding agency. Even for this purpose, data availability is required. Okay, so for you make it transparent, people can also view it. You want others also to reproduce in the similar way, in the sense, furthermore research, and also for funding agency. Another thing is you also have free sharing zones. So all these which is being said are your free sharing that can be done at either Zenodo, Dryad, OSF, FIG, the figure share for clinical trials or for systematic reviews. All these are available which are of free. Publicly available data, available upon request, not available. Before slide I said these three things. So publicly available, example, all these whatever is said is being publicly available without any restrictions. Some of those links where or the websites where you can check are these. Some of the websites where I have my data publicly available can be shared. Number two, available upon request. So here again, you need to have some ethical approvals for you to go for some kind of access essentially needed. Then privacy regulation, you have your institutional policies. Now based on all that, whether I can make it available or not. Okay. So example is giving you all these can be done again by corresponding author. Only by the corresponding author subject to certain conditions. Not available. So here data described in the manuscript cannot be shared because of some reasons like confidentiality. The material or the whatever you have prepared by cannot be shared. You have policies which the government frame after a lot of research. Now all that cannot be shared. It has to be kept in confidential. Some of the data, survey government that cannot be shared. So there we have confidential agreement. You have patents, proprietaries, all that cannot be shared can be put into not available data. Okay. Funding declaration. As we have data declaration, we also have funding declaration. Now in this funding source, you can list all agencies, institutions, grants, companies that is being provided for support. So in article, for example, you have got the funding being received for it. you can very well list out from where have you received those funding. You can also give numbers, awards, if again optional. If you want to, you can, otherwise not essentially needed. Role of the funder, what that particular funder or the agency has done. So there you have to clarify whether the funders influence the study design, how it was given on the basis of my design, on the basis of data collection, or on the analysis, interpretation, on what basis was my article or my research being funded. Then comes for restrictions. If there were none, then you can explicitly say that there was no restrictions. If it was so, you have to make a mention that why it was being done. No funding, for my study, there was no financial support at all. Mention it. And just an example how a research grant is being provided. Right? It is being supported by IC, that is Indian Council of Medical Research, grant number, and the agency had the role in my design, my patent, whatever it is. You mention it and put it in your availability. So here he says the funding declaration. Okay. All that is fine. Author declaration. Author has to disclose certain things. Author disclosure. Enna disclose pannom. This is in par with conflict of interest. I have done it. I am the one. I am the owner. I'm claiming it, for which I'm making a declaration. So identify any financial or non-financial assistance provider or provided by a third party for the reported work. If you have found someone who has supported you, who has given you, who has, maybe in form of finance or other way, kind, then also you need to showcase that it has been provided. Number 2, declare the financial interest. Okay, or the relationship within the last 3 years. Whatever with the subject matter you have done for your manuscript you have received, you have to disclose. For example, if I say advisory positions, illa consultancy fee or equity or stock ownership or non-financial support, whatever it was, you as an author have to declare it, disclose it. Disclose any patents if you have received or any copyright an author may have received. Relevant to the work which you have done, disclose it. Okay, so this is your author disclosure. Author disclosure, another thing you have is the corresponding author. We call ourselves as corresponding author, has to declare that I am the one. Anything, anywhere, any mail, any reference, it should come only to the corresponding author, not to anyone else. So I stand alone, and anything has to be received or has to be taken up should be only to the corresponding author. Now, the owner, that is own, self, and the co-authors, this has to also be agreed. Yes, I am the author and you are the co-author. Even that declaration has to be made so that you avoid this conflict of interest. For example, this is how it will look like in your manuscript, where you go into your declaration. If you type therein, you will find and you can declare yourself as an author and co-author. Okay. This is the latest declaration of generative AI and AI assisted technologies. Now that frequently we are using, having used a declaration is essentially needed. If the journal requires any new requirement where you can use these technology, either use pannirken, அப்படினா you should make a declaration. So declaration during the preparation of the work, the author used in a name of the tool or the service, you have to declare. In order, why you have used, reason, for using the tool. After using this tool or service, review who has done what is being done. And the edited content. But I have done some editing in it. What is that edited content? And thereby the responsibility of the entire thing is the author. I think there people are getting disturbed. So generative AI or generative technology, because it has come into picture, they say that we are now using those to declare that I have taken up from this source. This was the content. So thereby we say declaration becomes very important relating to AI technology. Now this is how an example which is being derived for you. If it is a language polishing, grammarly ellarum pada use pannidranga. Language polishing or a grammar correction example. So was used to improve grammar and readability of the manuscript. You can use it. Reference formatting or a citation. Again, example, you can have this. You can take it up. If you have to have a data summarization or a table generation, you can use ChatGPT. Of course, idhula eduthen solradha nee declare pannanum. That is very important. Text structuring, again you're using your ChatGPT for writing content, text formation pandringa. Kindly you try to say that yes, it is being taken up and we have reviewed it. We have made some corrections in it. All that can be declared. Peer review, very important. Now, peer review readiness, these are the three things which are majorly taken up for an article. Plagiarism check. Neenga thesis pannitale enga pogum? First thing goes for a plagiarism check. So 3%, 4% permitted line and 13%, 10%, 15%, not beyond that. Again, you have to redo Mariya. So you have a limit or ceiling given. So you need to be careful while writing your article. Number 2. Yeah. It is always advisable that you don't check. What happens is, this is a tool, Trinity or whatever they're going to use in. Once it is done, you have gone somewhere and you have checked. The same thing is again put in, they say 100% plagiarism. No, it is, you have to check it. We do have, maybe I will not put it up as it is going into the, I'll tell you how you can check it. There is always a possibility. You can use, Grammarly is one. Grammarly is a tool available for you to check. And you can go to some of the, very good. That should, that's more with your English. Grammatical part, where it is written, drafted clearly or not, you can use it. You do have, if you have had your Trinity, you can actually own it. You can check it. But then after doing that, we have to have an erasing part. Right? So that it doesn't have a duplication of again going for checking. Okay? I'll just show you. There's an example. Okay? So what you can have? Turnitin, The Authentic, Grammarly Premium. These are ways where actually you can go for a check. You can have checks against billions of web pages. You can have industry standard for journal submission. You can have basic plagiarism deduction. You can use that. And you have web page which is free. Again, you go for, ma'am, it's all paid actually. You do have free access available. Free tools available. Okay. Your grammar checks, again, these are available where you can look into. This is your quality assurance tools for manuscript. As you asked me, this is the answer. So these are the ones where you can make a check before you submit it to the university for them to check your plagiarism. Publishing fees, very important. Why is that? I have to pay for something which I have done. It's my research work. In spite of that, I have to pay a huge amount. So what should be the publishing fee? So article processing charge, definite. Any conference, any articles, definitely you will have something called as a processing charge, because they'll have their peer reviewers. It goes to them, they check, gets back again. They want to have a double check, double blind check. Lot of such checks are available. So it takes up time for them, whereby you will have the processing fee available. So it is being charged. Open access versus subscription journal. And I made it very clear, when it is open access, who will pay, and if it is a subscription access, who will pay the amount. So it depends on you, that if it is an open, the author will pay, and if subscription, the reader or the institution will pay. So typically I've given it in dollars, like you can put it up in money. Depends how much the processing fee or the charge is being taken up. There are also few countries who waive or discounts for the students. No money, no processing charge being charged. Some of the underdeveloping countries go for increasing or, making more enhancing of quality in research. They waive the amount, the processing fee. That's also available. Of course, extra charges for your color figures, supplementary materials, all that is also available. Time to publish. This is very, nowadays, நான் வந்து ஒரு ரிசர்ச் சூப்பர்வைசர் ஆகணும், எல்லாம் ரெடியா இருக்கேன். உடனே என்ன சொல்றான், ஒரு ஆர்டிக்கல் ஸ்கோபஸ்ல போட்டுட்டியா? போட்டேன். ஸோ ஐ ஹாவ் பப்ளிஷ்ட் இன் ஸ்கோபஸ். பப்ளிஷ் பண்ணிட்டேன். எவ்வளோ நாள் ஆகும்? ஐயோ, எனக்கு ரிசர்ச் சூப்பர்வைசர் இப்போ உடனே ஆகணும். அப்போ வாட் ஹேப்பன்ஸ்? ஐ pay huge amount for the article to be published in Scopus, wherein you need not. But then at the cost of me getting something for my enhancement, I go for Scopus, where I pay a huge amount to get my paper published. Now there, I look into, இப்ப எனக்கு என்ன வேணும்? Submission. First decision 2 to 8 weeks. The peer review process nu sonna, it will take some time. So 2 to 8 weeks depends on your journal or the field which you have. Science ah irundadna ekkachakama poidum. Humanities, commerce endradhukku or alavukku varum. So there you have weeks. Submission acceptance rate 1 to 6 months. Longer high impact journal na innume adhigamagum. Right? If you have to have long stretch, which means your impact factor of the journal is very high. Acceptance, few weeks or months for print. All these you have to analyze for publication. So my time to publish, you can have all these into consideration. Acceptance rate. I've given you few, 3 tiers. Middle, high, middle, lower. Which one will you choose? I've given you 3 tiers. You want your article to be published. Which one will you choose? Very good. Can we have a clap for her? low tier or open access? Big clap. Thank you. Good name, madam. Sivashri. Thank you, Sivashri. I will say, of course, low tier, but reasonably, you opt for that 20 to 50%. This is absolutely you can go for. But then at the very first, when you go into, you can have that 20 to 50% of your acceptance. And very well, as we say, your low level acceptance will be always, pull in. Like, of course, postgraduates can go for more of low level acceptance because you will have number of articles accepted by the journal at an easy way. And they will have a good impact factor. So this is a fantastic, slab which I've given you. Definitely you should go for low tier at the postgraduates level. You can also opt for the middle one, wherein you can have about 20 to 50% of acceptance rate. Apart from all that what has been said, what can be the other factors which you have to consider for your publication or writing? As I say, your impact factor, your indexing, your peer review type. Is it, as I said just now I was telling, single blind, double blind, or open review? Very important. So how it's going to be assessed? So is it going to be a single blind review or it's going to be double blind? ரெண்டு இடத்துல இருந்து வரும், என்ன வந்திருக்குன்னு தெரியாது. இப்போ உங்களோட பிஜி மாதிரி. PG has double valuation. PG exams have double valuation. One person checks, another person checks. If it correlates, then that average marks comes in. If it deviates, we have the third person who will be evaluating. அதே தான் உங்க ரிசர்ச்க்கு. நிறைய deviations தெரியுது அப்படினாலே ஆட்டோமேட்டிக்கா you will have the next person who will come into the review. Of course, your scope and target audience. You have to ensure that the journal aligns with your field, humanities, human resources. எதுல இருக்கோ அதுல அது சார்ந்து இருந்ததுன்னா it will be always better for you. This is what you have a journal comparison. Now, in your journal comparison, you look into the journal, you look into your APC, you'll also, there is your acceptance rate with the cost, publishing cost, review time, acceptance rate, impact factor. இதுல எந்த journal choose பண்ணுவீங்க? Which journal will you choose? Very good. Sivashri is absolutely in my class, right? She is making herself exactly to be saying that what happens. The second one, of course, first one, high impact factor. Ippoteki venda, no, it may happen. Odane rejection vandarla. So I say no. Down one, the acceptance rate and the impact factor is quite low. But you can also think of acceptance rate on the 50% irukku. So நம்ம போட்டா டெஃபினட்டா உள்ள போலின் பண்ணலாம். But then always go for something which says 0 APC. That is a highlighting point. Factor on publishing வந்து 0 level. And of course I am having 35% இருக்குது, impact factor இருக்குது, and 8 weeks is okay. So you should think and then go for a publication. Okay, choosing of your journal. I'm looking into the time. Must be the last slide. You should be happy. Get back, seated straight for the last slide. Okay. So we have takeaways. Choose journal based on budget, timeline, target audience. 3 things. Number 2, reputation of the journal. Indexing factor, citation has to be looked into. And always check the author guidelines for fees, waiving of fees, and your review process. These things are to be really kept in mind before you go for any kind of publication or writing of an articles. All that's said and done, this is what you will have a simple way of all that slide shown put into a nutshell, how you can choose your or write your articles in a reputed journal. Thank you so much. As I said, that is your takeaway. And anything which you feel or you would like to ask, I'm open for it. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Question answer session. If anyone wants to ask any question with ma'am or clarify your doubts, you can ask now.
Ma'am, as you said, we need to register before choosing the journal because it is mandatory. Many journals require the registration number. Actually, when we need to register, before finalizing our article or after that?
There's no need for you to wait for all that. You are now a postgraduate and you want to do your research. You go for a registration. You want to do it. Now that you have fixed certain things, you have some ideas, you have found some journals. Now that you say, yes, I'm ready for writing a manuscript, you go for your registration. Don't wait for any time, tide, nothing. You feel like you want to do it now. And after this, I have to go for my PhD. Now start registering it. The first thing, as I say, a lot of things available. You can take up for your registration and you can go for your article writing. There's nothing called as timeline. See, timeline is for article writing, publishing, and then whether the journal will give you within this particular time or not is you have a timeline. Now for your registration, I don't say you have any timeline. Okay.
That's only. Thank you.
Anyone?
I would like to have a feedback from the students or the staff.
I'm S. Abrami from First MCOM, ma'am. Thank you for your clear vision about publication of articles. Thank you for your crystal clear words. Now I have a clear vision about publication of articles, ma'am.
What's your good name, ma'am?
Abhirami, ma'am.
Abhirami. Thank you, Abhirami.
Thank you.
Thank you. Boys, some of them were really alert. I would like to hear from them. So usually you will find they are very drowsy and they're very alert and all that. But this group, I really found it, I'm sure I'm right, really good. So I would like to have feedback from your side.
Firstly, ma'am, thank you for coming here. Actually, I'm a new PhD student. So recently I've published a research paper and I did something, my due research and all that. But this was really a very big eye-opener for me. Like, when we want to learn something, ma'am, at least we must learn some terminologies first. That's the first thing. As the title itself says, the nuances of the article, the nuances is very important for me to learn, and I learned a lot of things today, ma'am. It is like I feel like I read a beginner's book on research publications.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Aishwarya. Thank you. Yeah, boys, do I have some takeaways home? நீங்க எதுல வேணாலும் பேசலாம் இல்லையா? அதனால தான் bilingual பேசுறேன். Usually I don't use Tamil. I don't know how was my Tamil, but anyway I've used it. No? Okay, that's okay. Anyone else? Yeah, there I have my ladies.
Hi, ma'am. I am J.R. Priyadashni, Assistant Professor, PG and Research Department of Commerce. I loved your session, ma'am. You have a very good enthusiasm during the full session. And though it is afternoon, your energy level was so high and it boosted my energy too.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And I also on this time, I'm going to thank Dr. P. Purnima, ma'am, and Anuradha, ma'am, for conducting this session. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you for
madam.
coming, ma'am.
Thank you. Most welcome. Thank you. I would like to have sirs, someone who can say something. Yeah, very good friend of mine.
Good evening, ma'am. Very nice and wonderful session. First of all, I would like to thank Purnima ma'am and head of the department for organizing such a wonderful program for our PG students as well as for the research scholars. Very useful. Madam point out பண்ணதுல எனக்கு 2-3 விஷயம் என்னுடைய ரிசர்ச் ஸ்காலர் கிட்ட பேசும்போது கூட சமீபத்துல தான் ஒரு கான்ஃபரன்ஸுக்கு பேப்பர் ரெடி பண்ணாங்க. இப்போ அவங்க அப்டிராக்ட் ரெடி பண்ணும்போது இருந்த விஷயங்கள் இப்போ என்ன லேக்ன்றது இப்போ அவங்க கரெக்டாக கோத்ரூ பண்ணியிருப்பாங்க. ஏன்னா ஃப்ரம் த பிகினிங் ஏன்னா நானும் அதே லேக்ல இருந்திருப்பேன். when I am studying, when I am doing my research work, by experience we learned. ஏன்னா எங்களுக்குலாம் இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு பிளாட்ஃபார்ம் கிடைச்சு இந்த மாதிரி ஒரு கிளாஸஸ் கொடுத்து இதுல இருந்து நாங்க ஜேர்னல் ஆர்டிகல் ரைட்டிங் பத்தி போனோமா அப்படின்னு சொன்னா பிக் கொஸ்டின் மார்க் தான். பை த்ரூ எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ் வேரியஸ் சைட்டேஷன்ஸ்ல பார்த்து அதுக்கப்புறம் அதுல இருந்து தெரிஞ்சுக்கிட்டு தான் இம்ப்ரூவ் பண்ணிக்கிட்டோம். அதையெல்லாம் இன்னைக்கு இருக்கிற ரிசர்ச் ஸ்காலர்ஸ்க்கும் பிஜி ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸ்க்கும் தட் வில் பி வெரி யூஸ்ஃபுல் அண்ட் நைஸ் வண்டர்ஃபுல் செஷன். மேடம் சொன்ன மாதிரி ஒரு ஆஃப்டர்நூன் செஷன் ரொம்ப கிரீடி செஷனா இருந்துச்சு. அப்படி இருந்த போதும் உங்களுடைய வேர்ட்ஸ் இன்ஸ்பைரிங் வேர்ட்ஸ் அண்ட் இன்ஸ்பைரிங் ஸ்பீச் வந்து எங்களை தட்டி எழுப்புச்சுன்னு தான் சொல்லலாம். Very nice, wonderful. Thank you, ma'am, for your wonderful and nice session.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, madam.
I learned here many tools, ma'am, especially Zotro.
Yes.
I know only Mandela, elsewhere. I learned that only. But here I learned many tools. Cite for me, Bible me, citation mission.
Yes.
Thank you for this, ma'am.
Thank you, madam.
Sir.
A little work I've done so that I can give something new to you people.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, yes.
Thank you so much for the wonderful session, man. It was absolutely thought-provoking. In the beginning of the session, you told afternoon session won't be that blissful. But the way you carried, the way you explained, literally made it blissful. It was literally thought-provoking. That too, being MCOM students, one key thing all our staffs and HODs are always insist is, you're not an UG graduate anymore. Try to be proficient in your field. Try to learn more. Try to research more. Try to read more. Your session added absolutely a feather to its cap. Thank you so much for this, ma'am. I would like to request our HOD, Dr. Venkateshan sir, to present the memento to the resource person as a token of our gratitude. So now I request our HOD, Mr. M. Venkateshan sir, to render vote of thanks.
Very good evening to most respected principal, resource person, faculty members, and dear students. Today's session is always useful to both students and research scholars as well as faculty members, because most of the faculty members are students, research scholars. They try to submit their papers and they are searching for submit their articles. They feel it is very difficult to publish. Somebody's published their papers, whether it is cloned or original, it is so difficult. So today's session is very useful to you. Identify whether it is cloned journal or original, whether it is published in Scopus or any other site. So here, ma'am clearly expressed and explained. So once, thank you on behalf of our department and our college, Dr.K.UMADEVI ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, to provide a very good session to us. So thank you once again, all of you.
Thank you, sir. I would like to ask Ms. K. Shivashree to join us and sing for national anthem. May I request kindly the audience to stand up for the national anthem.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल बंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलति तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जाहे तव शुभ आशीष माहे गाहे तब जय गाता जनगण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे